12 signs your partner doesn't love you, even if you think they do. It's not easy when you are in a relationship and you think everything is going great, but then suddenly things start to change. Your partner becomes distant. They stop doing the things they used to do for you, and you can't help but wonder if they really love you anymore. It's a tough situation to be in, but it's important to remember that just because someone loves you doesn't mean they'll always act like it. There are a lot of different factors that can affect how someone behaves in a relationship, and sometimes it's hard to tell if your partner's actions are simply a result of them going through a tough time or if they're actually starting to fall out of love with you. If you're worried that your partner doesn't love you anymore, here are the top 12 psychological signs that indicate your partner doesn't love you, even if you think they do. An important message. Please note that the purpose of this video is not to make you feel bad about your relationship or to break up with your partner. If you are in a relationship where you think your partner loves you, but they actually don't, this video is meant to help you understand the signs so that you can make an informed decision about what to do next. And hopefully, you will solve the problem together, not by destroying the relationship. And it's also important to remember that just because your partner exhibits some of these signs doesn't necessarily mean they don't love you. There could be other factors at play, and it's always best to talk to your partner directly about your concerns before making any decisions. With that said, let's get started. Number 12. They are no longer affectionate with you. Physically or verbally, if you notice that your partner is no longer affectionate towards you, it could be a sign that they're losing interest. A sudden change in physical touch, such as hugs, hand-holding, or physical intimacy, can be a big indicator that things are changing in the relationship. And if your partner used to be very verbally affectionate, but now they're not saying, "I love you" or "I'm sorry" as much as before, that could also be a sign that their feelings have changed. It's scientifically proven that couples who are physically and verbally affectionate with each other tend to have stronger and longer-lasting relationships. So if your partner is no longer affectionate towards you, it could be a sign that they're starting to fall out of love. Number 11. They're making more excuses to avoid spending time with you. If your partner is always making excuses to avoid spending time with you, it could be a sign that they're no longer interested in being around you. Some common excuses they might make are that they're too busy at work or that they need some time alone. They might also start making plans without you or cancel plans at the last minute without a good reason. It's normal for couples to need some time apart from each other now and then, but if your partner is constantly making excuses to stay away from you, it could be a sign that they're trying to distance themselves because they're no longer in love. Number 10. They seem more distracted or disengaged when you're together. Distraction can be a big sign that your partner is no longer interested in the relationship. For example, if you are together and you notice that they're constantly checking their phone, looking around the room, or not making eye contact with you, it could be a sign that they would rather be somewhere else. And if your partner seems disengaged or like they're not really paying attention to what you're saying, it could also be a sign that they have mentally checked out of the relationship. It's normal for couples to have times when they're not really in the mood to talk, but if this is happening all the time, or if your partner seems indifferent when you are trying to connect with them, it might be a sign that they're no longer invested in the relationship. Number 9. They complain more than they appreciate you. If your partner is always complaining but never seems to appreciate all the things you do for them, it's a sign that they might not love you. According to research, couples who are satisfied with their relationship usually have a 5-to-1 ratio of positive to negative interactions. So if your partner is always complaining and never seems to be happy, it's likely that they're not as satisfied with the relationship as you are. Of course, everyone has moments when they're unhappy and they might complain about something. But if this is a constant thing, or if your partner only ever seems to be negative, it's a sign that they might not be in love with you. Number 8. They don't include you in their future plans. One of the strongest signs that your partner doesn't love you is if they're not including you in their future plans. For example, if they're always talking about their plans for the future and they never mention you being a part of it, or if they're making long-term plans without consulting you first, it's a sign that they might not see a future with you. It's normal for couples to have different plans for their futures, but if your partner is always making plans without you or excluding you from their future dreams, it could be a sign that they're subconsciously telling you that they don't see a future with you. Number 7. They are being more passive-aggressive. If you notice that your partner is being more passive-aggressive than usual, it's often a sign that they're not happy in the relationship and they might be trying to tell you something without actually saying it. Some common examples of passive-aggressive behavior are making snide comments, giving you the silent treatment, or making backhanded compliments. It's totally okay for couples to have disagreements and argue from time to time, but if your partner is constantly being passive-aggressive, it's a sign that they're unhappy and they might not be in love with you anymore. Number 6. Forced feelings and behavior. According to research, one of the strongest signs that your partner doesn't love you anymore is when they're forcing themselves to feel or behave in a certain way around you. For example, if they're always pretending to be interested in the things you talk about even if they're not, or if your partner is always trying to convince you that they love you even when you can tell that they don't, it's likely that their feelings for you are forced. Additionally, if your partner is constantly trying to manipulate your feelings, it's another sign that their love for you might not be real. Number 5. They are hiding things from you. If you notice that your partner is being more secretive than usual, it might be a sign that they're trying to hide something from you. It's normal for everyone to have their own private thoughts and things they don't want to share with their partner. But if your partner is constantly keeping things from you and trying to hide them, it's a sign that they're not as invested in the relationship as you are. For example, if they're secretive about their phone or computer, or if they're always making excuses to avoid talking to you, it's likely that they're hiding something from you. Number 4. A lot of unnecessary fights. Couples that are happily in love don't usually have a lot of unnecessary fights. If you and your partner are constantly fighting about things that don't matter, it's often a sign that there are bigger issues brewing beneath the surface. It's normal for couples to have disagreements every once in a while, but if you and your partner are always fighting for no reason, it's likely that your partner doesn't love you anymore. Number 3, you can feel it. It doesn't matter how good your partner is at hiding their true feelings. You can usually tell when something is wrong. If you have a gut feeling that your partner doesn't love you anymore, it's often because they don't. Your intuition is usually more accurate than you think, so if you feel like something is off in your relationship, it's important to trust your instincts and try to figure out what is going on. Number 2, it's always your fault. When things go wrong in a relationship, it's normal for both partners to take some responsibility for what happened. However, if your partner is always quick to blame you for everything that goes wrong, it's a sign that they might not be as invested in the relationship as you are. Additionally, if your partner is always making excuses for their bad behavior or trying to make you feel guilty, it's a sign that they're not interested in fixing the relationship. This happens often in relationships where one person is emotionally abusive. If your partner is always making you feel like it's your fault, or if they're constantly putting you down, it's a sign that they don't love you as much as you thought they did. Number 1, mixed emotions. When someone is hot and cold with you, it's often a sign that they're not sure what they want. If your partner is always giving you mixed signals and sending you mixed messages, it's a sign that they might be confused about their feelings for you. For example, they might try to convince you that they love you one minute and push you away the next. This can be really confusing and frustrating, especially if you're trying to figure out whether or not your partner loves you. The most common reason why they do this is that they're not sure if they want to stay in the relationship or not. If you're experiencing this in your relationship, it's a sign that things might not be as rosy as you think they are. Final thoughts. Although it can be tough to face the truth, it's important to be aware of these psychological signs. If you're noticing only a few of these signs in your relationship, do not be scared. Some of these signs might appear in every relationship at some point. The key is to pay attention to the frequency and severity of these signs. If you're noticing multiple red flags at the same time, the best thing you can do is talk to your partner about it. If they're not interested in fixing the relationship, then it might be time to move on. Because one-sided love is not love at all. If you haven't seen part 1 of this video, I will put a link in the comment section below. Make sure to watch it now. Finally, for you ladies, if you think understanding men is hard, then you should definitely learn how to trigger their hero instinct. The best way to learn about this amazing psychology is by checking out the first link in the description right now. It's a powerful psychology guide that will teach you exactly how to make a man fall in love with you using reverse male psychology. To learn more, check out our other videos that you see on the screen right now. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one.